Welcome to the first episode of Sustain Explained, a video series that'll document our journey toward becoming a sustainable, net zero e-bike company. It's a journey guaranteed to be filled with challenges and unknowns. It's going to take us years. We can't wait to get started. Hi there, we're Corey and Dave from DOST Bikes. We've been riding e-bikes for transportation for almost 10 years. We've logged thousands and thousands of miles, and we're super excited to have you along for the journey. Most of us got into e-bikes because they're fun to ride, and boy do they make riding up hills a lot less sweaty. But e-bikes have a serious side too. They're what's known as zero emissions vehicles. Think Tesla, but about 4,000 pounds lighter. Anyone who's serious about solving the climate crisis agrees that e-bikes are critical to decarbonizing our transportation systems. In North America, transportation accounts for about a quarter of all of our emissions. What's so special about e-bikes? Well, you see, a well-designed e-bike can absolutely replace the car for a lot of those short trips. At DOST, that's what we mean when we say utility. Those are features like integrated cargo racks, high torque motors for towing capacity, and dual batteries for really long range. But even though we're in the business of manufacturing the next generation of zero emissions electric vehicles, we think all businesses, including our own, should be doing more to solve the many problems we face. And that's why we're making a commitment to becoming a truly sustainable organization. Welcome to episode 1 of Sustain Explained.
A sustainable e-bike company. Sounds like a great aspiration, but what does that really mean? And how do you possibly get there? First, let's look at our business, which is truly a global operation. Consider that just one of our e-bikes has over 80 individual components. Our supply chain consists of 23 factories spread across 3 continents. Given these complexities, we knew we needed help, something to guide us in our decision making. And that's why we chose an internationally recognized sustainability framework called Future Fit for Business. Future Fit recognizes that sustainability means much more than simply reducing our carbon footprint or getting close to net zero. It means our business is environmentally restorative, socially just, and economically inclusive. To understand what we're talking about, let's look at something many of us are familiar with, the triple bottom line, the relationship between people, the planet, and profits. Using this approach, we can easily understand that instead of seeing business as separate from society and the environment, business is in fact embedded within society and within the environment. Put another way, business can only thrive if society flourishes, and society can only flourish if the environment can support its needs. At DOST, we even have a motto for it: people, planet, pedal. It's even printed on our t-shirts. Well, not this one.
So that's a bird's eye view of Future Fit. Let's take a closer look and see what that really means for a bike company like DOST. Let's take our entire operation and then break it down. First, our products. That's everything we sell from bikes to bells. Our headquarters. That's here in Canada. That includes our warehouse, how we heat the place and how our employees get to work. Let's also include our roadshow. That's our traveling showroom that we use to bring our bikes to our customer's door so they can test ride it before they buy it. We've got our global supply chain. That's everything it takes to build a bike, from batteries to brake pads. And finally, our customers. How do our customers use our products once they've left the warehouse? Next, let's look at all the ways our business impacts the environment and society. Future Fit calls those the 8 break-even goals. We've got energy, water, natural resources, pollution, waste, our physical presence, people, and finally what they call drivers. Those are business ethics. And each of these are connected in complex ways. But the beauty of using a systemic approach is that we can simplify things by looking at just one part of our business. So let's look at one part, the e-bike. That's our product. We can use the Future Fit framework to help us better understand exactly why e-bikes are a uniquely sustainable form of transportation, much more so than driving a car, even an electric car. It just comes down to physics. Compared with an e-bike, cars are really big, they're really heavy and really inefficient, especially the gas version, as we'll see.
There's no better place to start than with energy. In a sustainable future, people will meet their needs, in this case transportation, using a lot less energy than we do today. Plus, that energy will need to come from renewable sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric. To illustrate, Let's use the simple example of someone going for groceries. If the grocery store is, say, 5 kilometers away, let's call that a 10-kilometer round trip. Then compared with e-biking, a gas-powered Volkswagen Jetta uses about 70 times more energy. Even an electric car uses about 15 to 20 times more energy than an e-bike would. It's interesting to note that even walking would use more energy than an e-bike. That's a fact made famous by Apple founder Steve Jobs, who marveled that a person on a bike was by far the most efficient mode of travel ever devised, though some solar-powered gliders can now claim the title. Reducing pollution is another one of the 8 break-even goals and includes carbon dioxide because of the way it traps heat in our atmosphere and is a major cause of global warming. Clearly, e-bikes score well in this category because, well, they don't have tailpipes.
Of course, e-bikes are far from perfect. They too pose a challenge for sustainability, and Future Fit framework helps us to understand those too. Let's return to energy and pollution. While operating an e-bike drastically reduces energy and pollution compared with driving a car, manufacturing an e-bike does use a significant amount of energy, and it does produce pollution, though still a fraction of what's required for a car, and that includes electric cars. And in Taiwan, where ours and the vast majority of the world's mid to high-end bikes are manufactured, the electrical grid that powers its factories relies mainly on fossil fuels, with renewables making up less than 5%. And indeed, this challenge is captured by the framework. While the bicycle represents one of the easiest ways to reduce your personal carbon footprint, manufacturing remains a challenge, and that's what we're working on.
In future episodes of Sustain Explained, we'll be updating you on our progress and take a closer look at some of the other initiatives we've already been working on. Our new headquarters in Canada. It took just 18 months for us to outgrow our current office and warehouse space. So we're moving all the way across the street. Construction of our new 10,000 square foot facility is well underway, and it too has been built with sustainability in mind. Biking advocacy organizations are critical to growing biking. That's why this summer, DOST will be donating money to our non-profit partners, Velo Canada and People for Bikes, through a campaign called Ride Some Good. It's designed to get people riding for a good cause. Our goal is to hit 1 million kilometers and donate $10,000. Thanks for tuning in to Sustain Explained. As we said, this is an exciting journey for us, and it's critical too. After all, the planet could sure use some good news for a change, and businesses like DOST need to do their part. Sustain Explained, to be continued.